Some poetry prose, 28th of March 2025. Nudges. What does it take for a human to trust in one's own creative ability, to imagine a life that they actually want to live, to enjoy, to look forward to? So many are struggling with desperation, with depression, clung on to past instances that didn't work well. Deep rest is a big part of self-healing, of the complexity of post-traumatic stress disorders. Deep rest, with which to go deep sea diving into our feelings of emotions that unsettle restless thoughts. In dream states, where it's safe to explore what's behind the closed door, it opens to the underworlds where repressed fears peer through the window panes, scratching the back of one's pupils at the back of the classroom, at the back of the mind. Scary stories grow from scared experiences. What happens early on in childish scenarios can become the psychological makeup that patterns shapes of things to come. When we were young, things happened that made deep impressions, cut to the bone, hurt, scarred, and likely never fully healed. How others reacted has an effect on healing. Environmental conditions, whether the weather was harmonious or harsh, in effect. I'm more than a half century old in this lifetime, with most of my memories long lost, long ago. It's natural that memories get compressed into the recess at the back of the mind, else we'd not be able to make and store new experiences in the room inside the skull. Okay, it's not like that. Memories aren't like zeros and ones in a hard drive. We humans actually store images in categories of similarities. This new experience is similar to these previous experiences. We recognize the patterns as of what we've seen before. We can only recognize what one has cognized before. We biological beings have evolutionary algorithmic harmonics that mimic what we see in our environments, called mirror neurons by the science of monkey see, monkey do. A child learns very quickly to mimic the adults, but once learned, it's difficult to change what has become learned behaviors. We have ours. I remember when I started smoking tobacco, and I know how difficult it is to unlearn the complex patterns that became integrated into the circuits of my habit-forming personality traits. 36 years later, I still continue to puff on tobacco, even though I now no longer wish to keep repeating the habit. Chemical hardwires inform my actions in patterns of behaviors remembered. Thinking about thinking is a bicycle with cogs and wheels and a chain of events, a saddle to sit on, and an effort to keep going, maintaining momentum by sheer force of will, so as not to falter and fall off of the bike. We keep going and try to steer, but it's difficult to stop and totally change direction on our life path, set in motion when we were very, very young. We go through repetitive cycles. Every month, a cognition in line change to the moon. Another cogwheel chain of events aligned with the Earth makes a circuit with the sun. This bicycle motivates the psychological patterns along our cycle path through life. Psychopaths. Twice a year we have eclipse cycles, where the Earth passes directly between the moon and sun, and then the moon passes between the Earth and sun, eclipsing the harmonics of the luminaries as feelings and thoughts. It's the same global parameter for everyone when the heavenly clock goes tick and then goes tock, whether we are aware of it or not. 2 weeks ago was a lunar eclipse. Tomorrow is a solar eclipse. 2 weeks ago, those clock hands struck at what was past personality patterns, bringing up what is not healthy to keep repeating repetitively. Steering between the eclipses, there's a chance of changing direction of where one wants to direct oneself on the future life path, what goals one wants to aim for, and what team one wants to play for, and what teams one thinks others playing against my team. This eclipse tomorrow is a potential paradigm shift to play the game differently from now on. Regardless of knowledge or belief in astrology, there's a bigger motion picture going on in a much longer story that began before our generations were born, and our tiny story fits like a cog within those much bigger cycles of continuity of his and her luminary stories. The outer planets move slowly by our mortal reckoning, and the outermost planets are currently moving in tandem. Pluto is making an angle with Neptune and Uranus, or Uranus. You're an ass. Anyway, they're holding a shape in relation to each other, like 3 hands aligned in time with a cosmic clock face. What one imagines for oneself going forward is shifting phase within a much bigger pattern of circumstances. There's no point in denying that technology is changing the environment. There's no point in denying that nations are no longer separate ideologies playing against each other as distinct races in a game of civilizations. There's no point in denying that migration can't be stopped, like putting toothpaste back in its packages. The mixed races have already run amok. Something is happening to history that can't be predicted. The only certainty is that things will never be the same again. Individuality seems to be a composite of the words in, divide, duality. Allegiance to family, clan, tribe, nation, race, and religion has been broken down over the previous generations of industrial evolution by the empirical measures of developing technologies. Trains, planes, and economic autonomy have split the atoms of nuclear families far and wide internationally. A one-world government has been implemented through artificial intelligences, running the decision-making operating systems of the global economy, whether we like it or not. It's gotten far too complex to stop. Look at ourselves, asking our phones to give us the mass information that we're looking for, screening out what we don't like through our so-called socials as modern media. Every world's leader is doing the same in every branch of the world high story, whether about the weather or whatever. In divide duality, we all have our own limited choices to make, our own personal cybernetic decisions about how to navigate one's way through the complexities of relationships with the inner and the outer waters of currencies, and the currencies of humanity's economy of scales. Within and without, we've all got to doubt our own certainties about certain ties, and whether those ties are serving, for good or for bad, in the long run, or what we are consuming. So each one of us has to decide whether to fight the tide, sink, or swim with the current, to conserve our strength, or get exhausted by our relationships capsizing over time. The movements of the heavenly spheres is a sort of weather forecast, cast of objects, operating a system of divination in the mind of what people call God. The different seas are like the different religions, seemingly distinct, but actually there's only one ocean, only one body of water, in which our lives seem to be separated as individual perceptions, as if there are really 7 seas. We each have to live with ourselves and each other, whether we like ourselves or each other, whether we like the weather or not. Responsibility is the ability to adapt how we speak. The linguistic etymology of the word God is actually what we individually and collectively call forth by what we pray for, what we imagine, and what we wish for. Imagine the different choices that one faces at this time, like a series of doors leading to different versions of our personal timelines. Take the time to wonder what doors you really want to open going forwards, and what doors would one rather leave behind.
So yeah, I mean, that's ridiculously fast, yeah? Almost too fast to take in whatever it was that was all about. And I've recorded that as an idea of how time is accelerating, how our perception is accelerating, how we're taking in so much information these days. It's hard to cram it all into our memories. It's hard to cognize so much information, so much conflicting information, so many various different viewpoints which seem to contradict. So much fake news, so much fake truth. But what is fake truth? Fake truth is something that's not the whole truth. If I've got 99% of the truth, but I haven't got that last 1% that ties it all together, then that's not quite the truth. It's a theory. It's an incomplete equation. It's not until you get the final download of the whole truth that one really understands time. and understands that time is speeding up, the perception of time is speeding up, kind of thing. So that's an example of how my communications work, that it's not just the linear words that convey meaning, it's actually the effect of the words that convey meaning. The framing of those words being played at 3 times faster than what they were recorded originally. And so it's the medium is the message. The way it's presented has an effect on what it means, kind of thing. And in many ways, that's what I'm doing with the breaking up of words into smaller constituent parts. Linearly, yeah, I'm putting in little spaces and apostrophes in the middle of words where they wouldn't normally be, in order to make the words phonetic, in order to take the literal and make it figurative, in order to take what's spelled and return the enchantment, in order to take the written word and make it back into the spoken word, to take the visual and make it into the oral, kind of thing. And that's causing the brain to put things together in different ways than what we're used to, so that we're not screening out all the other meanings, but actually being open to the whole truth of what these words might mean if seen in different ways. What sense the sentences make, what sense the words make, what words one can see are actually just respelling of other words, like creation is a respelling of the word reaction and vice versa. Emit is a respelling of the word time, like a palindrome, it's just spelled backwards. Silent is the same word as listen. And if we look at things in the normal way of how we were taught to look at things, most people don't notice that the word listen is inherently the word silent, and that there's a esoteric inner meaning of how those words are connected. Time does emit. You can't listen unless you're silent. When you're talking over someone else with your own thoughts, you're not really receiving the meaning that the other person is intending, kind of thing. Tend, dent, attendant, and attend, dent. Dent is the opposite of tend. Anyway, just thought I'd add that there as another upload, download, reload.